Krishna. So I welcome all the participants. Let us resume our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 4. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripata maham vande Shri Guru Dinatarina. Verse number 13. Evam vimokshya gajayutapamabjanabhas tenapi parshadagatim gamitena yukta gandharva siddha vibudair upagiyamana karmadbhutam svabhavanam garudasanogat. So here Shukdev Goswami continues. Upon delivering the king of the elephants from the clutches of crocodile and from material existence, which resembles the crocodile, upon delivering the king of the elephants from the clutches of the crocodile and from material existence, which resembles the crocodile, the Lord awarded him the status of Sarupya Mukti in the presence of the Gandharvas, the Siddhas, and the other demigods who were praising the Lord for his wonderful transcendental activities. The Lord, sitting on the back of his carrier, Garuda, returned to his all-wonderful abode and took Gajendra with him. So this is the way in which Gajendra went back home, back to Godhead. As we see, the Supreme Lord not only delivered the elephant Gajendra from the clutches of crocodile, but also delivered him from material existence. So how fortunate is Gajendra? Having been cursed in his previous life by a saintly person, Agastya Maharshi, he actually was awarded the status of Sarupya Mukti because he took shelter of the Supreme Lord. He was bestowed with the remembrance by the Supreme Lord's mercy. He was bestowed with the remembrance of the Supreme Lord, and he offered very celebrated prayers to the Supreme Lord, and he attracted the Lord's mercy, as a result of which he not only got relieved from the clutches of the crocodile, but also from material existence. So here he says, Shukadeva Goswami says, from the clutches of the crocodile and from material existence, which actually resembles a crocodile. And so the Lord awarded him the state of Sarupya Mukti. We have discussed the 5 kinds of Mukti yesterday. So in the presence of the Gandharvas, the Siddhas, and the other demigods who were praising the Lord for his wonderful transcendental activities, the Lord, sitting on the back of his carrier Garuda, returned to his all-wonderful abode and took Gajendra with him. So this is the success of one's life. So Gajendra got the Sarupya Mukti. He got a form similar to that of the Lord's form, and then he went back with the Lord back home, back to Godhead. So here Vimokshaya means deliverance. So the impersonalists, they are generally satisfied to get the liberation of merging in the Brahman effulgence. The impersonalists who do not who do not value the service of the Lord, who just want freedom from material existence, the Mayavadis, maximum they may get, the maximum liberation which they may get is the Sayujya Mukti, merging in the Brahman effulgence. However, for a devotee, this kind of mukti means, this kind of mukti is not actually preferred. In fact, a pure devotee does not, desire even the 5 types of mukti. Although the Lord may give, but he does not desire, because the pure devotee always wants to be engaged in the service of the Lord in whichever position he is. He may be in hell, he may be in heaven, he may be on the earthly planet. Wherever he is, a pure devotee only desires service to the Lord. So, however, for a devotee, moksha or mukti, what does it mean? What does moksha or mukti mean for a devotee? Moksha or mukti means getting the position of Lord's associate, Lord's service. Then what is the difference between the mukti of the impersonalist and that of the devotee? So impersonalist, the maximum he can actually achieve is merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Supreme Lord. And he remains there, but he cannot remain there for a long time, because the soul, by its constitutional nature, is actually active and it always wants some engagement. So the impersonalist, he doesn't have any kind of engagement in the Brahman effulgence. So he always remains insecure. When there is no engagement, one becomes insecure. When one is sufficiently engaged, then one is actually happy. So therefore, bhakti means engagement. Engagement in what? Engagement in serving the Supreme Lord. Engagement in satisfying the senses of the Supreme Lord. Sarvopadir vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. So therefore, bhakti means satisfying the senses of the Supreme Lord. Sense gratification means satisfying one's own senses. And we have already seen the happiness which is achieved by sense gratification is very, very short-lived. But whereas when one satisfies the senses of the Lord, one gets eternal happiness. Because the Lord is the master of the senses. Rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. By satisfying the senses of the Lord, one actually achieves unlimited happiness in such a service. So the impersonalist, he always remains insecure. Then what is the position of a devotee? Devotee is very happy just by serving. For example, if there is a very, very rich man, very rich man, very powerful man, and if you get the position of a permanent servant to that rich man, is it that you are going to be deprived of any facility which is actually given to that man? No. If you are the personal secretary of someone like the Prime Minister of India, or probably a very rich businessman like Ambani or someone, you will actually enjoy on the same level as the master. Sometimes the master, out of love, he may even see, this is just an analogy, what example I am giving. A very rich master and his intimate servant. So the servant, he is the secondary enjoyer. By giving service to the master, he also enjoys on the equal level like the master, right? It is not that he is deprived of any facility or enjoyment, but one has to acknowledge who is the supreme. If he acknowledge, if a faithful servant who is serving under a very powerful and very rich master, if he acknowledges the position of the master, and he is always prepared to serve the master in all respects, then the master himself will actually give many facilities to the servant. Sometimes he may ask the servant also to sit with him and take lunch or dinner. So this person who is eternally a servant, who is engaged as a servant of the very powerful and rich master, he enjoys on the same level as the master by the master's mercy. So even by being a secondary enjoyer, in fact, this servant enjoys a lot of happiness. But why is he able to enjoy that happiness? This is because he is actually understanding the master's position, acknowledging the master's position, understanding and acknowledging his own position, and serving according to his position. Similarly, when one understands who the Supreme Lord is, who we are, what is our relationship with the Supreme Lord, and what is our duty towards the Supreme Lord, and what is the goal of our life. When one understands like this, one engages in devotional service. Again, to understand this also takes the mercy of the Lord. So therefore, the means and the goal is the same. How to understand this? By taking to the process of Shravanam and Kirtanam. When one is gifted with this seed of bhakti, when one takes to the process of Shravanam and Kirtanam, one is able to understand this. And when one is able to understand and when one acts in this knowledge, then one actually achieves unlimited happiness. So this is what a devotee actually achieves. At the same time, if you see in the same example, if the servant becomes envious of the master, then what is going to happen? If he wants to usurp the seat of the master, if he wants to somehow put the master out of his seat and take his seat, can he ever become the master? That servant, he can never become the master. So the very safe position for that servant is that he always remains a faithful servant, serving the master very favorably by following the rules given by the master. So that position is very safe for the servant. But imagine if he makes a plan to become the master, then who is going to suffer? This person is going to suffer. The servant is going to suffer. And also the master, also Lord is such a kind master. Lord also feels very bad that the living entity has become rebellious of him. But what to do? The living entity also has its free will. Lord does not stop that free will. If the free will is not there, then where is the question of love? Because there is free will, there is love. But if there is no free will, how can there be any love? So similarly, the most safest position is always to be servant of a very rich and powerful master. So therefore, to be a devotee, to practice devotional service means to be in the very safe position in the eternal government service of the Lord's government. In this government, if you serve Indian government, you have to retire. You have to retire by the age of 58 or 60. You cannot go on permanently working. One day you have to leave. And one day you have to leave your body also. For example, even if you are a very powerful government servant, even if you are an IAS or an IPS or a very high post position, if you are given some quarters, one day you have to leave that quarters and go. If you are given some facilities, one day all those facilities will be taken away from you. It is not that you are going to get those facilities throughout life, and one day you have to leave the body also, and you have to take another body where you don't know what is going to be your situation. Similarly, but if you take to devotional service of the Lord, this is actually eternal government service. If you take to the service of the Lord, if one practices bhakti by following the process of Shravanam and Kirtanam every day, then one, by the mercy of the Lord, gets the position as an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord in the government of the Lord. That is an eternal position. Nobody can ask you to retire from there. So serving the Lord is very, very safe position and the most meaningful position. So what happens to an impersonalist? Because he doesn't have any engagement, he falls down into this material world. Again, we see so many Mayavadi sannyasis. What happens is they start schools. They start so many hospitals. Of course, we cannot say schools or hospital is wrong or something, but they do not achieve the highest goal of life. They say they are sannyasis, but they take part in all the activities of society because they are not satisfied. They are not satisfied with a certain amount of realization because that realization doesn't bring satisfaction. But a devotee is immediately appointed as an eternal servant of the Lord. So one may get mukti, one may get position in the Brahman effulgence, but one has to fall down because one cannot remain eternally there. One cannot remain eternally without any engagement. For example, if one is given all the facilities and all peace, one is frustrated with this material world. If one is frustrated with this material world, and by somehow or the other, you get a very nice position, you get all facilities, you get a very peaceful atmosphere where nobody is there. How long can we stay there without any engagement? How long can we stay there without any engagement? So, the propensity to serve, the necessity to be engaged is a prerequisite in every soul, because the soul by itself is an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. Without engagement, one remains insecure. One actually falls down. So therefore, those who achieve this impersonal liberation, or those who merge into the Brahman effulgence, they actually cannot remain there for a prolonged period of time. Immediately after some time, they actually fall down, and they fall down means what? They come back to this material world and they take to various philanthropic activities. So many things which are actually not related to pure devotional service. However, the devotee, he doesn't achieve this Brahman, he doesn't get this liberation. He is immediately appointed as an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. So now if we take to the service of the Supreme Lord, Manmana bhavamat bhakto madhya jimam namaskaro. When we take to the service of the Lord in this life, in this body, then what happens is we are actually preparing to serve the Lord eternally. Because if one takes to the process of Bhakti Yoga, and if one practices very sincerely, then one attracts the mercy of the Lord. And after his death, he does not need to take birth again in this Martya Loka or in this material world. He is immediately appointed as an eternal servant of the Lord. And even if one does not achieve the perfection, still there is no harm. We have already seen. But that does not mean we should not endeavor for perfection. But even if one does not achieve perfection in the process of Bhakti Yoga, still there is no loss. You can start off from wherever you have, left. For example, if you have completed 50% and 50% of perfection is remaining, in the next life, you can start off from 51. You don't need to start from 0 again. But that is not the same in case of material achievements. So, why not? It is such a good deal. Bhakti is such a good deal. Why should we not take it? Why should we not go for it? And then who has the hereditary right to Lord's mercy? We have seen yesterday also. Tattenu kampa susamiksh mano gunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvagvapubhir vidadan namaste jivetayo mukti padesa daya bhak. So one who seeks your compassion and thus tolerates all kinds of adverse conditions due to the karma of his past deeds, who always engages in your devotional service with his mind, words and body, and who always offers obeisances unto you, is certainly a bona fide candidate for liberation. So therefore, a devotee tolerates everything in this material world because he knows that he does not belong to this material world. Particularly a devotee who has taken to the process of Shravanam and Kirtanam and who has achieved this strong faith, Dridhavrata, Satatam Kirtayam Toman, Yatantascha Dridhavrata. One who has become a Dridhavrata by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, he actually tolerates everything in this material world because he knows that this is not his place. He knows that this is, for example, you take a person who is traveling in a general compartment in a crowded train. You know how general compartment is? It is very, very crowded. You don't even get place to sit or stand, or even sometimes, even breathing becomes difficult and it's so suffocated, the general compartment of a train. But if a person knows where he is going to get down, if he knows that his station is going to come within half an hour, what does that person do? Does he aspire to go and sit in an AC coach? No. Does he feel it very difficult when he knows where he is going to get down? No, he does not feel it difficult at all. In fact, he tolerates that. In fact, a person who knows that his station is going to come, he does not waste his time in going and sitting in the more comfortable compartments of the same train. It is not that he goes to the AC 3 tier or the AC 2 tier or the AC first class to sit. Because if one sits there, one aspires to go there, to those compartments, what happens is one may forget that the station is coming. So by Lord's mercy, we have all got this human form of life. We have got the association of devotees. And by Lord's mercy, we are able to take to this process of Shravanam and Kirtanam regularly on a day-to-day basis, despite all our shortcomings. So therefore, such a person should actually tolerate. In fact, this is a Madhyama stage of bhakti, but one has to gradually come to the stage of tolerating everything in this material world. There is no other option, because the Lord himself is certifying this material world as a place filled with misery, a place which is very, very temporary. Dukkhalayam asashvatam. The Creator himself has given a certificate to this world that it is Dukkhalayam asashvatam. It is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Padam padam yat vipadam nitesham, we have been seeing. So therefore, what does a devotee do? What does an intelligent passenger who has somehow or the other, got into the general compartment of a train, crowded train, but he knows that his destination is coming within half an hour. So he does not waste his time in searching for a comfortable place to sit. He, in fact, very, very gratefully, he tolerates that very, very difficult situation. He tolerates that situation just half an hour. Even he advises his family members also, if they happen to be with him in the same compartment, just tolerate for half an hour. Don't blame anyone. He doesn't get into a fight with anyone in that compartment. Hey, you are not giving me place. You are not giving me place. General compartment means it will be like that only. It will be very crowded. You cannot expect any comfort there. But he does not argue with anyone unnecessarily, because he knows that his destination is going to come. By Lord's mercy, a devotee is gifted with this faith, and by the Lord's mercy and by association of devotees, because he is gifted with that faith, he has made use of his free will properly, and he has taken to the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. And then his faith increases more and more, more and more, more and more, to such an extent that he actually understands that the Supreme Lord is very, very mercifully reciprocating with me. And then he does not give any importance to this material world and to whatever problems he is facing. In fact, he welcomes the problems, because those problems give him an opportunity to depend more on the Supreme Lord. Vipadasantu tat sashvat tatra tatra jagat guru, Kunti Maharani prays. Why? Bhavato darshanam yasyad apunar bhava darshanam. So therefore, a devotee very, very gratefully tolerates everything in this material world, because he knows that all these things are coming because of my past deeds. Then what does a devotee desire for? Nasta dharme navasu nichaye naiva kamopa bhoge. Kulashekar Alvar prays in Mukunda Mala Stotra. Nasta dharme navasu nichaye naiva kamopa bhoge yadbhavyam tad bhavatu bhagavan purva karmana rupam. Oh my Lord, I don't desire wealth. I don't desire dharma. Let all these things come as per my karma. Yadbhavyam tad bhavatu bhagavan purva karmana rupam. Then what does he desire? Etat pratyam mama bahumatam janma janmantarepi svatpadamboruhayu gagata nischala bhakti rastu. But oh my Lord, I desire only one benediction. And what is that benediction? Birth after birth. Let me always get nischala bhakti unto your lotus feet. Let me always be engaged in your service, oh my dear Lord. That is his prayer. So therefore, he tolerates everything. He doesn't complain, knowing that this material world itself is dukkhalayam, and knowing that whatever suffering he is undergoing, it is only because of his past karma. And he patiently executes his devotional service, understanding that this is his eternal position, this is his eternal duty, and he executes devotional service without caring for the external material situation. So such a person, jivetayo mukti padesa daya bhag. Such a person actually is a bona fide candidate to inherit the Lord's mercy. So let us come to the last section of this chapter. Etan Maharaja taverito maya Krishnanubhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam Swargyam Yashasyam Kalikalmashapahanam Duswapnanasham Kuruvarya Shrinvatam एतन् महाराज तवेरितो मया कृष्णानुभावो गजराज मोक्षणम् स्वर्ग्यं यशस्यं कलिकल्मषापहं दुःस्वप्ननाशं कुरु वर्य शृण्वताम्. So he says, Sukadeva Goswami says, my dear Parikshit, I have now described this wonderful power of Krishna, Krishnanubhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam, as displayed when the Lord delivered the king of elephants. O best of the Kuru dynasty, those who hear this narration become fit to be promoted to the higher planetary systems. Swargyam Yashasyam. They become fit to be promoted to the higher planetary system. Simply because of this narration, they gain reputation as devotees. Yashasyam means reputation. Swargyam means Swargaloka. Yashasyam means reputation as devotees. Kali Kalmashapaham. Kalmashapaham means they are actually unaffected by the contamination of Kali Yuga. Swargyam, Yashasyam, Kali Kalmashapaham. Dusswapnanasham. All their bad dreams are destroyed. Kuru Variya Shrinvatam. Oh, best of Kurus. They never see bad dreams. So, this is the assurance which actually Sukadeva Goswami is giving Parikshit Maharaj. यथानुकीर्तयन्त्येतत् श्रेयस्कामद्विजातयः सुचयप्रातरुत्थाय दुःस्वप्नाद्युपशान्तये. Therefore, after getting up from bed in the morning, those who desire their own welfare, especially the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and in particular the Brahmana Vaishnavas, Yathanukirtayantyechat Shreyas Kamad Vijataya. Vijataya means the higher Varnas. They should chant this narration as it is without deviation to counteract the troubles of bad dreams. So, it is particularly mentioned by Sukadeva Goswami. At least I remember in my childhood, maybe when I was 5 or 6 years old, I was very much addicted. I somehow became addicted to certain horror shows in the TV. But my grandmother had told this to me, this Gajendra Moksham, in order to deviate me, in order to reduce the bad dreams. She used to tell this story. But yes, it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam also in the same way. Particularly in 2 verses, it is mentioned about this bad dreams. Itam aha hari prito Gajendram Kuru Sattama Shrinvatam Sarva Bhutanam Sarva Bhutamayo Vibuho. Oh, best of the Kuru dynasty, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul of everyone, being thus pleased, addressed Gajendra in the presence of everyone there. He spoke the following blessings. So, the Lord is actually blessing in this way. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yemam Tvam Cha Saraschedam Girikandara Kananam Vetraki Chaka Venunam Gulmani Surapadapan. The Supreme Lord said, my form, your form, this lake, this mountain, the caves, the gardens, the cane plants, the bamboo trees, the celestial trees. And he continues, Shringani mani dishyani brahmano me shivasya cha kshirodam me priyam dhama shvetadvipam cha bhaswaram. The residential quarters of me, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the 3 peaks of Trikuta mountain made of gold, silver and iron, my very pleasing abode, the ocean of milk, the white island, Shvetadvipa, which is always brilliant with spiritual rays. Shri Vatsam Kaustubam Malam Gadam Kaumodakim Mama Sudarshanam Panchajanyam Suparnam Patageshwaram. Shri Vatsam Kaustubam Malam, my mark of Shri Vatsa. Kaustuba, gem, Vaijayanti Mala, Malam, Gadam, Kaumo, Dakim Mama, the Kaumodaki, my Sudarshana, the Panchajanya, conch shell, my bearer, Garuda, the king of birds. These are all the signs of Lord Vishnu. Sashanka Chakram, Sakirita Kundalam, Tapita Vastram, Sarasiru Hekshanam, Sahara Vakshas, Talashobi Kaustubham, Namami Vishnum Sirasa Chaturabhujam. So these are all the symbols of Lord Vishnu. शेषं च मत्कलां सूक्ष्मां श्रियं देवीं मदाश्रयां ब्रह्मानं नारदं ऋषिं भवं प्रह्लादमेव च. My bed, Sheshanaga, my expansion of energy, the goddess of fortune, Lord Brahma, Narada Muni, Lord Shiva, Prahlad. Matsya Kurma Varahatyair Avatare Kritani me Karmanyananta Punyani Suryam Somam Hutasanam. My incarnations like Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, my unlimited all auspicious activities which yield piety to he who hears them, the sun, the moon, the fire. Pranavam Satyam Avyaktam Govipran Dharmam Avyayam Dakshayanir Dharma Patni Somak Kashyapayorapi. The Omkara mantra, Pranava, the absolute truth, Satyam Avyaktam, Go Vipram Dharmam Avyayam, the total material energy, the Avyaktam, Go Vipran Dharman Avyayam, the cows, the Brahmanas, the devotional service, the wives of Soma and Kashyapa, who are all daughters of King of Daksha. Gangam Saraswatim Nandam Kalindim Sitavaranam Dhruvam Brahmarshim Sapta Punyashlokam Chamanavan. The river Ganges, Saraswati, Nanda and Yamuna, Kalindi, the elephant Airavata, Dhruva Maharaj, the 7 rishis, the pious human beings. For every manvantara, there is a particular set of Saptarishis, the pious human beings. The Dhruvaloka, or the pole star, the Airavata, elephant. Uttaya pararatrante prayata susamahitaha smaranti mamarupani muchyante te mashokilat. Will be freed from all sinful reactions are those who rise from bed at the end of night, early in the morning, and fully concentrate their minds upon all these things which were previously mentioned. Yemam stuvantyanenanga pratibuddhyat nisatyaye tesham pranatyaye chaham dadami vipulam gatim. My dear devotee, unto those who rise from bed at the end of night and offer me the prayers offered by you, I give an eternal residence in the spiritual world at the end of their lives. So the Lord is assuring all of us, whoever discusses or whoever study these prayers offered by Gajendra, he is assuring that Lord will give them an eternal residence in the spiritual world at the end of their lives. Shri Sukha Uvacha Ityadishya Rishikesha Prad Maya Jalajottamam Harshayan Vibudakikam Aruroha Kagadipam. Shukadeva Goswami continued. After giving this instruction, the Lord, who is known as Rishikesha, bugled with his Panchajanya conch shell in this way, pleasing all the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma. He mounted the back of Garuda and he left. So we have come to the end of Gajendra Moksham finally. We will stop here. We will discuss the next chapter tomorrow, which discusses about the other Manvantaras, particularly the 5th and the 6th Manvantaras, and what were Lord's pastimes in those Manvantaras. If anyone has any question or if anyone wants to say something. Okay. Thank you all for your enthusiastic participation. Hare Krishna. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.